Over the last few days, we've seen Elon Musk wade into an emotional battle over California's new transgender law. The law, which bars school districts in California from requiring parents to be notified of a child's gender identification, drove him to announce he'll move the headquarters of both SpaceX and X from California to Texas. A multi-billion-dollar decision with consequences on both the corporate and state level. Musk went on to say in an interview that he was tricked into authorizing his own child's transition, and as a result, his son is dead, or at least dead to him. NBC's David Ingram is getting a rare look into what drives the psyche of a powerful billionaire, speaking with the controversial CEO's transgender daughter. And he joins us now to discuss. David?
Hello, it's a pleasure to join you.
What did you learn from this discussion?
So I spoke yesterday with Elon Musk's daughter, Vivian Jenna Wilson, and she has quite a bit to say about growing up as Elon Musk's daughter. She came out twice in life, first as gay in 8th grade, and then several years later she came out as trans. And I think that this relationship between Vivian and Elon Musk really is, I think, one of the undertold stories of the broader Elon Musk story from the past several years. We've all seen how Elon Musk has taken on certain campaigns, political campaigns and social campaigns, including on X and his purchase of X. And this, I think, helps to explain some of the motivation. I mean, he said on Monday that after this experience with his daughter transitioning, that this is what pushed him to attack what he called the woke mind virus. And he, and so I think that really gave her an opportunity and I think in her mind, a requirement that she speak out and address this allegation from him that he was tricked into approving her hormone treatments.
It's the development here. We're talking about Vivian Jenna Wilson, who's generally a relatively private person. We haven't heard too much with regard to the story from that perspective. What exactly would have to happen for this kind of a response? For her to want to talk to you and perhaps be viewed as trying to set a record straight?
Clearly, she had been thinking for quite some time about whether she wanted to tell her story. You know, I think she's someone who does value her privacy and didn't seek this spotlight. I think what had to happen was Musk speaking really in very personal ways and talking and revealing some personal family details on Monday, and doing so in a way that she thought was just untrue. He spoke about what it was like when she was growing up, when Vivian was growing up, and she says that those weren't true, and that he also probably wouldn't really know much about what she was like growing up because he was largely an absent father. And that's was one of her main points, is that Musk and she, they haven't spoken in 4 years. And he was not really present when she was young. So I think that's what pushed her to come out and sort of tell her side of the story, the fact that he was telling what she thought was a one-sided story.
Yeah, and now in many ways, the struggle of one family becomes the struggle of the many companies and states, really. David, thanks for bringing that to us. We appreciate it.